In a scathing attack on the government, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi is demanding answers over the spate of abductions in the country.
One of the things we had accused the past regimes of was the existence of disappearances and extrajudicial killings of Kenyans, and we vowed that we would never, at our watch, condone or allow such.
Muturi is blasting the government over assertions that he does not know who is conducting abductions, having been a victim when his son was allegedly abducted at the height of the Gen Z's demos in June last year.
I have personally served as my son was abducted and disappeared, and I was not sure whether he was alive or dead, making us anxious and leaving me and my wife and the rest of the family in turmoil. It must be remembered that at that time, I was the serving Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, and as is well known, a member of the National Security Council as comprised under Article 240 of the Constitution.
To date, despite his links to the national intelligence, he has not received reasons for the alleged abductions or reports on the investigations.
Now, more than 6 months later, after that ordeal and the release of my son by unknown forces, he has not been charged with any offense, and the government at all levels has not been able to give me any explanation or reasons as to his abduction by hooded armed gangsters.
Muturi says that the silence from government has eroded public confidence in the security organs and therefore demands that the national security should reveal details on how many youths have been taken in, how many have been released, and how many are still missing.
The security sector has said that they are not involved in the abductions, but interestingly, they have failed to stop them as they are happening in full public glare. The president has equally said that he would want to see the abductions end. Kenyans want to know how many of our youths have been taken in since the abduction started, how many have been released, how many are still being held, and where it is that they are being held.
He now wants the country to have a national dialogue over the matter.
I have taken this unusual step so that the matter of abductions and or extrajudicial activities being committed by whomever can now be honestly and robustly debated in the country with a view to finding a lasting solution to this scourge.
The National Police Service has since distanced itself from the abductions, claiming that it had no involvement in the cases, despite narrations from the victims hinting that the abductors were security officers.
In my view, the government cannot be excused for abdicating its duty of protecting the lives and property of the people of Kenya. I note that after my statement in Embu on Friday last week, a number of the youths that had been abducted and held in Communicado have been released.
The government on its part has claimed that it has no role, but then public statements coming from political allies to the government saw them promise to teach the said youth manners. Many are touting the public statements made in funeral and church services as an admission of guilt from the government.
Propaganda kusema iko watu wamekuwa abducted na hii kitu imeendelea, lakini rais hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Hii ni propaganda ya kutaka kuharibu jina ya serikali, jina ya nchi yetu na jina yako kama rais.
But in a rebuttal statement, the DCI is inviting Muturi to give a statement over the abduction of his son. And I quote, "The alleged case of abduction involving CS Justin Muturi's son is active before DCI Kilimani. Considering that only the son volunteered to record a statement, we invite CS Muturi and any other person with information on the incident to record a statement with DCI Kilimani." End of quote. The statement assures Kenyans that it has so far opened several inquiry files that are at various stages of investigation. At the same time, it will soon be forwarded to the ODPP upon conclusion of investigations. End of quote. Muturi becomes the first member of President Ruto's cabinet to attack the government on the weighty matter of abductions outrightly, but still, questions are lingering about why Muturi, who has President William Ruto's contacts on speed dial, sits on the cabinet and has various ways to address the government on various issues, would choose to have a press conference to express himself.
But of course, I imagine, because it has been said it is not government, then we need to deal with those ones who are doing those things. So it's not possible for me to keep quiet merely because I sit in cabinet. And I've explained that I am fully conscious of the doctrine of collective responsibility of cabinet. But when you are a victim at a personal level, you also have a life, you have rights under the same constitution that brings in the doctrine of collective responsibility to speak out. I have not spoken until I felt that things are getting out of hand. And that's why I spoke about it on Friday last week.
Muturi was last week forced to deliver the president's speech in person to the family of politician Lenny Kivuti after mourners rejected it be read publicly. Sources have, however, intimated to K24 TV that all is not well with an impending cabinet reshuffle in the offing. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.